קודם לכהן גדול עם הארץ. People are coming to a community, one is a legally mamzer, but it's not his fault, he's a Talmid Chacham. And Kohen Gadol Am Haaretz during the second temple, he's a Kohen Gadol, he has the highest position, but he's in Am Haaretz. The mamzer deserves more respect than the Kohen Gadol. שנאמר, יקרה היא מפנימי, the Torah is more precious than pearls. יקרה היא מכהן גדול, שנכנס לפני ולפנים. It's interesting, the Rambam normally doesn't bring you the right stuff. אני רואה שהוא אומר, יקרה היא מפנימי, the Torah is more precious than pearls. Right? Now listen what he says. אין לך מצווה בכל המצוות כולם, שהיא שכולה כנגד תלמוד תורה. Put any mitzvah that you want on the scale, תלמוד תורה, put it down. אין לך מצווה בכל המצוות. אלא תלמוד תורה כנגד כל המצוות. התלמוד מבין את זה מעשה. Go now to הלכה ד'.
תלמוד תורה covers everything, like anything that we use.
Precedence.
Is there
That's precedent.
It's so important. It must be
If you want to know, go to the second one.
One says, any machoket and maybe lidei maaseh, that's the reason Talmud Torah.
Let's go to the next one. היה לפניו, here Joseph, עשיית מצווה בתלמוד תורה. You have a choice, you have an hour. Either go to a class, or go visit the sick, or whatever you think is a mitzvah. אם אפשר למצווה להעשות על ידי אחרים, if the mitzvah can be accomplished by others, don't go for the mitzvah, go to the class. כך אומר הרמב"ם בשולחן ערוך. Opposite.
Is it class? He said Talmud Torah.
Oh, that's a class.
If you want Talmud Torah, you can take this book and read it left to right. It's Talmud Torah. מה זה תלמוד? If you sit in your house, most of us, but it doesn't mean that. I gave an example. By most of us, Talmud Torah is associated with classes. If you sit and learn by yourself, Talmud Torah. But the Rambam is saying the time that you spend learning weighs any other mitzvah. But so if you have just two people are going to Manhattan, to Mount Sinai to visit someone, and you have a class, should you go or not? It's needed. If other people are in the car and anyway the job will be done without you, don't go with it. Of course, you have to
balance. You have to wait.
You have to balance. Don't worry, it doesn't apply to us. Because we never learn this.
It applies to me a lot now, but sometimes there's a class, it looks like an entertainment to me. And I go and visit my mother instead of going to the class.
See what he says in the class is like entertainment. In today's day and age, entertainment is part of the class.
Well, my mother is alone, so
Some people read Tehillim, stop reading. Is that Talmud Torah?
It's a question.
That's a good question.
This
Do
is
they
a good
understand what
question.
they're reading?
Why is it a good question? No, he's asking you a very serious question. You know.
Well, Zohar is Torah.
I understand why.
They're not trying to understand. No, they're not trying to get deeper. They're not trying to learn mitzvot. They're not trying to learn mitzvot. They're not trying to learn how to live.
It's interesting that your question. Open in Siman Memvav. See, like, how should we answer? Which approach are we taking to answer Sammy's question?
Yeah, that is the question. Do they know what they're reading?
Well, your question is good, like before.
It means whether
I'm
it's
coming
Talmud Torah or not.
I'm coming back.
He understands the words, but
I don't understand one word. I'm waiting for the zechut that I'm going to get a better. That's what I'm doing for.
That's the question.
Period.
I don't know if
I don't
that's
understand
Talmud Torah.
one word.
You
Look at
understood
Siman
everything.
Memvav Seif Tet. Memvav Seif Tet. Siman Memvav Seif Tet. Shulchan Aruch says like this: Lo yikra pesukim, including Tehillim, of course. You have it Memvav Tet. You have it. זה לא נקודה,
I want to stay on the Mishnah.
לא יקרא פסוקים קודם ברכת התורה, אף על פי שהוא אומן דרך תחנונים. Sam, you hear Shulchan Aruch says that if you wake up in the morning and you feel like saying Tehillim, because you have a relative in the hospital, don't open the Tehillim before you say Birkat Torah.
Therefore, by inference, it's like Torah.
This rule, but since the bell is not ringing yet, we're reading further. שאין לחוש, some say, don't say, but you don't have to say, you know why? שאין אומרם אלא דרך תחנונים, it's like you're praying. The Tehillim is not Torah for you. You're using the words of David HaMelech to pray to Hashem. We don't have fluent language. Here, Shulchan Aruch, his question really is the two opinions in Shulchan Aruch. First opinion says, the same way you cannot start your day learning Mishnah or Gemara or Chumash without Birkat Torah, it's asur to learn without saying Birkat Torah first. She said, don't say Tehillim either. But the second opinion says, no, you're not saying the Tehillim because of learning. I mean, you realize Tehillim is a very difficult book if you're learning Tehillim to understand what Tehillim says. Second one says, no. So this is interesting. Normally the rule is, if Maran says, יש אומרים ויש אומרים, סתם ויש אומרים, הלכה כסתם. says מרן בנכון לחוש, בסברה ראשונה. Shulchan Aruch is suggesting to us, if we would like to say Tehillim in the morning, before you brachot, no, don't say it before you say Birkat Torah, because he looks on it as Torah. Interestingly enough, look at the Rama, אבל המנהג, says the Rama to Ashkenazim, בסברה האחרונה, if this your question is Ashkenazim and Sfaradim.
Wow.
For Ashkenazim, and his proof is, this is the second one. שהרי בימי הסליחות, you say סליחות for a month. הסליחות have hundreds of psukim. Many people say all the ברachot after the סליחות are over.
Really?
שהרי בימי הסליחות, שהרי בימי הסליחות מתפללים, שהרי בימי הסליחות, you have to do it automatic in the morning because you follow Maran. Maran says you cannot.
All we know is we do it.
You have to say Birkat Torah before. This is what Maran is saying.
Page 2.
I do it at home. Before I leave the house, I do it.
Before you leave it.
שהרי בימי הסליחות מתפללים הסליחות, ואחר כך מברכים על התורה עם סדר שאר הברכות. Now, if you look at all the people in this community, maybe some of them, what do you do with Jeff when you come in the morning to shul? What do you do first? The minute you walk in, nothing, you walk in.
Get the coffee.
I'm not a coffee guy.
You're like,
I acknowledge
They say, David said, I watch them, they always say, everyone in the old time used to say, "V'ani berov chasdecha avo b'techa." What is that? It's a pasuk. How can you say it before you say Birkat Torah? This is our discussion. The minute you walk into shul, "V'ani berov chasdecha avo b'techa," v'shtachaver lecha l'kodshecha.
No, I'm reading Rambam, learn Torah. You're explaining reading Torah is equal to learning Torah.
This was your discussion, yes? Your question.
Is it learning or reading?
Focus on the word learn Torah.
If you really,
It's a little nice, cute mahloket, but is it really what Rambam meant? I'm reading Tehillim, therefore don't go Bikoranim, really?
Last time the same thing for Tefillah.
Learning Torah,
Tefillah also,
like
you are
this
reading.
class, serious learning back and forth is one thing, and reading Tehillim.
now you want to get into serious and not serious.
Yes.
Now you want to dissect it further.
Because you're not going to.
But why?
Sam-
Why dissect it?
No, no,
Why
Sam-
dissect it?
Sam is a flame.
The guy's a tipesh.
Sam
The
is
guy don't know what he's doing. He's just doing it because he wants to. He wants better for his
That's the
family.
way.
Lower the average.
Mike, if you have an hour and a half to stay, we'll talk about the topic. It's a very serious topic. Saying Zohar left to right or right to left, and you understand. Look, open now Siman Mem Zayin. Siman Mem Zayin. סימן מ"ז is הלכות ברכת התורה, ברכת התורה, yes? Look at סעיף ה', סימן מ"ז, אולי סעיף ה'. סימן מ"ז, סעיף ה'.
Rabbi, I heard from the Bekin Halacha that we do for a few years. There was one thing that just sunk into me, and I've been doing it very almost.
Yes,
I don't stand up when I say the Berachot. I don't do it while I'm making the coffee, while I'm getting up. I sit down in a chair. They drill it from the Bekin. They drill it. Sit down. You're approaching Hashem. You're asking the king for something. And I take it so seriously now that so that how does that fit into this?
Look and see if look and see if ברכות התורה, what's the text? אשר ברכות, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על דברי תורה. Look at משנה ברורה, מרן follows the Rambam. You know what Ashkenazim say, Sam? לעסוק בדברי תורה. What is the difference between לעסוק? Look at חטא.
That's more learning.
ומנהג מדינותינו, see משנה ברורה, where are you? משנה ברורה חטא, you see? ומנהג מדינותינו לומר, לעסוק.
If you're working,
This is the
difference between
this is the answer to your question. This is the answer to your question, yes. If it's Al Divrei Torah, you can hear very well the same Tehillim, even if it's Al Divrei Torah. If it's La'asok b'Divrei Torah, Esek means that your mind, your brain is part of the.
So one of them would take priority over Hatzalah, or not.
Everyone agrees the Rambam says that you have a choice to go to a class because you attend it every day, or to go visit a sick man that you have to check on your checkbook. I didn't become Cholim today. Please stay learning.
Yeah.
Now, if no one can do it but you, or you know that your personality in the room is helping the Cholim, of course go. You must close the Gemara. Kulam say most of the visits to people are social visits. How are you doing? Well, I hope you do better. This. The visitor waits till he go back to his car, yes. Very often the sick man waits till he leaves the room.
So
yes?
what is the tefillah? Rabbi, what is it?
It's a chegma. Unbelievable. People come and they come. Can you lift up his
Spirits.
spirit? Then he come Bikur Cholim. So Bikur Cholim, you come in, good morning, how are you doing?
He lifts his mother's spirits up by seeing.
No question. What he does, no one
He
can.
lifts his mother's
No,
spirits.
no one.
That's
In your case, no one. Yes.
So Rabbi, what's the thing with the tefillah? We come, is it Talmud Torah? We read the Torah.
So we
We're
said
discussing it now. Are
we
you
said
reading it or
before,
you're
according
breaking your teeth
to
on it?
Maran, any pesukim that you say count as Torah, and therefore you have to say Birkat Torah. According to Rama, if you say pesukim just for the sake of pesukim, here a good example, Sam, is this. Across the board, you can't say too much because then you're knocking down a lot of people. אבל תסתכל על המילים זה לעסוק. פה זה על דברי תורה, any דברי תורה have the...
Then la'asok, what's the definition of la'asok? How much la'asok is it?
Working at it.
Be involved.
Be involved means that your brain
You're breaking your teeth on
is
it.
involved.
Yeah,
If you say pesukim v'teilim, your lips are involved.
Yeah.
If you ever, I mean, it's a task. If you ever go through Tehillim and you really understand the Tehillim becomes a new book to you. The Tehillim becomes a new book to you completely. We understand one chapter good. It's a different feeling about it. The answer is we're not requiring anyone to, but be'emet, you should understand what we...
When someone is on the way to learn Torah, It's the same.
Right, right. So now we're going.
Mitzvah.
Now we leave this open a second. I'm coming back to the Rashi. Of course, this is why we went to the Rambam. Yes, go back to the Rambam now. So let's read again Halacha Dalet. I couldn't sleep, but the Maran, Shulchan Aruch, the Bet Yosef copies word by word this Rambam. But of course, as always, everyone has to know where he's coming from, where he's going. היה לפניו עשיית מצווה בתלמוד תורה. אם אפשר המצווה להיעשות על ידי אחרים, לא יפסיק תלמודו, don't stop. ואם לאו, יעשה המצווה ויחזור לתורתו. Otherwise, you must close the Gemara, you must end by you is to visit your mother. It's interesting that you ask it. There's a sefer called Shlamim Mitzion. The guy was met Lamed Chacham Amiti. Every move he did was chesed is that. He writes in his book, when he was 18, 19, he really learned 18 hours a day. You don't see boys like that. His grandmother was sick, and the family, all the cousins took turns. You come on Monday, 2 to 4. His grandmother says to him, I would like you to come more often. This young man used to walk the Chazon Ish early in the morning. The Chazon Ish had to take walks for health reasons. He used to walk. So one day he's asking the Chazon Ish this question. What should I do? You have to know, again, the kid was earning 18 hours, 18 hours a day.
Serious.
18 times 60.
Not the bit.
Slept 4 hours and he learned non-stop. When you walk to the Chazon Ish, they send about pages of Gemara. So now, when he writes the book, the story, he knows how to write. He says, Chazon Ish used to answer your questions of life or death in 60 seconds. Here the Chazon Ish says to you, why do you think your grandmother wants you? What are you talking about? He's asking him back and forth. Then the Chazon Ish continues walking silent. Then he says to him, you have to go visit your grandmother. Says. And Chazon Ish continues, not only because this Rambam, this is what he told him. He told him, if you're really doing chesed for the sake of chesed, your heart becomes a better heart, then the Torah that you learn will be much better Torah.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, but you should not go
It's very nice because you don't understand the question. You don't know anyone that fits into this pants of this boy of 18. He became one of the greatest rabbis.
When Yeshiva Bechor is going to tank his at home and his wife doesn't have a maid, continually she needs him. So then you're gonna leave your learning and in a way you have to have the tzedek to your wife.
If she is good, she's kicking him out of the house.
She needs help.
But she might need help. But she might need the help.
The grandson of the Chafetz Chaim, the Sipur Matzchik, it's a good story because everyone knows him. His name was Mendel Zaks. He was one of the first 10 students of Rabbi Kotel. This is like in the 50s. And you expect the grandson of the Chafetz Chaim to be in that tefillah every morning and time. Every so often he wasn't there. So the Kotler says to him, normally I wouldn't say, but you are the grandson of Chafetz Chaim, I expect you to be. He said, I'm ready every morning. But there is a widow in the neighborhood that needs help in the morning. So when I get up, I help her. I go buy groceries. She's there. Says to him, you are exactly what your grandfather would say. 100% you have to come to Tefillah. By the way, who is the widow? Says my wife.
Because he's never home.
My father told me, don't come to pray in Yeshiva, pray b'yachid. If your wife needs help, because the kids.
All day long, I mean, it's
Morning, the kids are getting ready to school.
People are late for the not interested in the fancy car, no on vacation, no summer. This is why they got married. They got married from 9 till 1. You're learning 1, you come pick up the kid, bring him home. 2, you take him back, and the wife. Remember, only if she agreed with it, otherwise it's assumed. So let's go back to the Rashi.
I'm sorry, the Chazon Ish. When he says that, is that because of the one where he says she's how to move maybe lidei maaseh? Now we have the maaseh in front of us. The whole Talmud Torah is to according to Rambam is that Ma'asim should be better. Now the person has the choice of Talmud Torah or his mother, and then here's the Maaseh.
It's a very good use. Everyone is asking, the Rambam contradicts himself. Says, why are you telling me Talmud is Kodem Lemaaseh if the Talmud is Mevil?
Right, exactly. I'm
The
saying
answer
it's
is
talking
each
on
one
the
of us, including myself, are Amei Haaretz Gedolim Lemaaseh, because we never learn Shulchan Aruch from A to Z. Why are we learning every morning we have a topic? We have to learn every day Shulchan Aruch. Did we ever cover Orach Chaim, Yoreh Le'av? The answer is no. The question is, how do you learn the Rambam?
You're saying you never reached that point of
course,
Maaseh.
of course. Maaseh באמת, כשאומר חפץ חיים writes in the introduction to the book. Here, look, open the introduction. Oh, you don't have to, no. Open the introduction and say it here. Yeah, look at that here. Look at the introduction. He says like this. Look a second, by you, we have the same prince. Look a second, open the introduction. The second page at the bottom. Look a second. This is the introduction to Mishnah Berurah. Yes. It's just a good. Just open it at the beginning. Just go before. Oh, this is good. Okay, good. Go one page. Yeah, look here. והנה he says, אף שלימוד התורה הוא שכל מה שהאדם לומד, אפילו בקודשים וטהרות, כתובות, זבחים, מלאכות, יבמות, פרה, הוא מקיים מצוות עשה. בכל מקום עיקר לימוד האדם צריך להיות בלימוד המביא לידי מעשה. באמת, what Mishnah Berurah says, most of the classes in this building, except downstairs, she begins, instead of ketubot, she learns berachot, Shabbat, Eruvin, Chagiga. So how come, Rabbi Abbas is using an example, yes? The answer is that people need some lollipops. Very often you learn Shabbat, it's very boring, all the details of downstairs, all the people, Rabbi Yeditz, all of them, yes, are learning only about what Halakha L'Maaseh. It's very tedious and it's very not exciting every day. And those who are looking for inspirational stories, they're not there, yes. But they're learning because they're learning, yes. ככה הוא, תשמע, ראיתם מה שאומר, תסתכל. אף של לימוד התורה. This is the biggest achievement of Rabbi Yedid, yes. אף של לימוד התורה הוא שכל מה שהאדם לומד, אפילו קודשים וטהרות, הוא מקיים מצוות עשה לתלמוד תורה. בכל מקום, עיקר לימוד האדם צריך להיות, this is the Rambam exactly what he said. צריך להיות בלימוד המביא לידי מעשה. ועל כן אמרו חכמינו ז"ל, אוהב השם, by the way, this should have been right in front, this pasuk. אוהב השם שערי ציון, השם לב, שערי ציון, לכל משכנות יעקב. No, it's a beautiful pasuk. This is the pasuk to put in front of the building.
More important than any Yankee fan. Much more.
אוהב השם, says the Gemara in Brachot, אוהב השם שערים המצוינים בהלכה, יותר מבתי הכנסיות ובתי מדרשות שביעקב. Ask any old man that really came from the country, not the new immigrants. All the classes used to be classes הלכה למעשה. אף אחד לא למד יבמות, אף אחד לא למד כתובות. even though כתובות is Nishbat, but the answer is we live in a day and age that you eat a lollipop, you eat ice cream, you eat this, you eat jokes.
But that goes back to maybe we shouldn't even learn Gemara. We should just learn Shulchan Aruch and you know, just
all this Faradim and all the Ashkenazim 200 years ago learned two, Bet Yosef, Shulchan Aruch, finished. Like, of course. You have to learn two first because the Bet Yosef brings all the Gemara.
So how did Hok Yisrael chime in, Rabbi?
What?
The last generation was reading Hok before they went to work.
Okay, no, because they were totally under
so it's like
mix the
Yeah,
salad.
I'll give you an interesting example. Last semester we learned last degree. You know the exciting stuff. A man is chasing another man. Man, all the boys and girls in school are wild. You know. This semester we're learning sukkah.
Does anybody argue with this?
Rabbi Lichtenstein was speaking by Flatbush maybe 30 years ago. He says you have to learn the Marot like sukkah to teach kids. It's not excitement. This is the foundation.
Nuts and bolts.
Foundation is
Some people don't want to learn.
No, it's not. No, it's not exciting. It's not exciting.
Sukkah, but Zivachim is more exciting.
No. Forget about it. I'm talking about even sukkah.
Oh,
If you have a good teacher in sukkah, if you have a good teacher, of course sukkah is exciting. Imagine Zevachim. You start Zevachim, yes? Every korban that you learn each other.
Yeah, no reason to learn the korbanot.
And תסתכל כמה שהוא אומר. והעיין, look a second, listen, go further. והעיין ביורה דעה, סימן רש מבב בשח, שהביא בשם הפירושה, וצריך כל אדם ללמוד הלכות בכל יום. כדי שהלימוד יביאנו לידי מעשה. Now we're thinking many times, maybe before we start, to learn one halakha a day. I mean, this is Rabbi Eli Mansur, you know, yeah? Yeah, I'll give you an interesting example. Last night in the class, we learned the halachot of Birkat Torah. So Salim Bambaji, you know that Rabbi Mansur came out now. You can, anything that he was teaching in the last 15 years.
You can search it.
Yeah. So Eli, no, but he did his own AI. You know what I mean?
With his own,
and I taught out.
with his own questions.
Not the regular AI who gives you 50% whatever they want. This is his AI. So Salim Babaji says, I remember here. I remember hearing a class with Rabbi Mansur. Listen good. When you take a shower, there's no bathroom in the room, you can listen to the Divrei Torah.
Really?
Listen. So I told him, you have to know Salim Babaji. He says, give me 2 minutes. He reads me word by word. But he says, Chacham Obadiah Yosef says, when you take a shower and there's no bathroom in the room, you can listen to a lecture of Chacham Obadiah Yosef.
When you are naked.
Obviously, this is a
shower. You know, you
wear a bathing suit when you're in the shower?
So why does the toilet matter?
Yeah, toilet should matter.
Because now our toilets get rid of it right away.
So
Our toilets are cleaner than the house.
He's right. So this is a separate discussion.
You could be naked.
It's a separate discussion because they look at the toilet as
But the original.
The shower.
I got it. The elastic of your underwear. They talk about separation.
The success of a rabbi. I remember as a kid means until 60 years ago, more than 60 years ago. Friday night, everyone in Yerushalayim after the meal in the winter used to go to listen to Rabbi giving and on Shabbos Shavua. Why did people come? He made people laugh. All the stories that he has in all the books, he was an entertainer, religious. Today, rabbis are religious entertainers. This is the rule number 1. See, if you learn Zevachim, you have to come every morning. Teaching, entertaining. No.
I have to be quiet.
No.
Who's colorful?
Why the world you have 12 to 15 people come at 5:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I don't know why.
The answer is
I was gonna ask.
but the answer is people are learning. He maintains the core. Whenever he calls the cause,
in the Jewish lecture circuit, the Syrian rabbis are very entertaining. They all over the world they go to because they have a different speaking style.
I'm a bystander and I listen sometimes to questions to people. The people. You don't understand anything. Everyone versus his stuff.
Personality is a big thing. Rabbi,
the answer is you have to,
That's
if
what
you
you go
want
with
to
the times.
pull people to learn.
You have to speak to them the way they speak.
So why, according to Rambam, why is somebody zocher to learn Zvachim? If it's not going to bring a maaseh, you give it. Okay, so
Okay, it's a very good question. So the answer is 100 years ago.
according to Rambam,
The answer is after 100 years, before 100 years ago, no one knows it's Zvachim. But
what does the second pasuk mean? Ohev Hashem,
יותר מבתי כנסיות ובתי מדרשות. It's more important between me and you than ever say that to come to pray. If you have a choice to come to pray in shul or to learn halacha in the morning, learn halacha. Harari, Alav Shalom, was alive. When he was a rabbi of Sharet Tzibur, and I remember vividly, he says to me, that one of the people came to Rabbi, should I come in the morning to say Selichot or Elul or go to them?
yeah.
Then I said, of course, go to them.
Yeah.
But today, I would say, I wouldn't say it. Why? Because for many people, this mood of saying every day, Selichot,
Get the
day
right
after day,
mindset.
repels you to, what's the question? What is this Selichot? You can say it left to right or right to left. Yes. But the answer is 15, 20, 30 people are coming together. I mean, it's very, it's very moving into the best. But this is exactly what it means. יותר מבתי כנסיות ובתי מדרשות. Someone is coming, you remember, I have a choice. I can pray at home, but pray, באמת pray. Not what people say, pray, or go to a place, go to a place.
I read this Shabbat, Rabbi, he didn't go to shul. So the children, the students say, what are you doing? He said,
No, of course.
No.
יותר מבתי כנסיות.
Don't try this at home.
So how do we justify that? Nobody promotes that because they don't see that they're gonna learn.
People abuse.
Nobody
people say,
promotes
you can't
because
say
we
these
are in
things.
charge, Joseph, we are in charge of the community. And you cannot show it in the community, yes? You cannot show the community because most people don't learn. Most people watch baseball, you go to restaurants, to nightclubs, yes? And some few times a week they learn. And the bottom line is, this is the nuclear power of the Jewish people. This is what the Rambam is saying. Anyway, look at it. Maybe we should start, maybe. Which book can we do?
What?
What
Halacha day?
Well, but one halacha, not
the whole
topic.
big-
No questions.
No question.
This is
Oh, you're
the
asking
problem.
me?
No, but this is the problem always. The problem is always the
This
question.
brings to something else.
That's it.
Then we get
Leave-
6 other
leave-
books.
leave
I
this
think
thing, leave this
that
thing.
maybe it's 2-3-4 weeks Halachot Shabbat. Then
No, but
different
no,
halachot
which
to
book?
the book.
Which book to you?
Which book to use?
We came with halacha from Rabbi Mansur.
No,
Rabbi Mansur is a collector. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the original.
mean, not
Rabbi
Maran?
Yosef, his book.
It's not only before Rabbi Yosef, there was also Shmuel.
Actually, he promotes a lot halachot.
No question.
Even halacha, when you start
No, no.